It's March, which means the tournament is here, and the last time I spoke to these two, we were just hoping a regular season was going to happen. From BYU, Kristen Kozlowski, from USF, George Devine. Guys, thank you so much for taking the time.
Yeah, of course. Good to be with you again.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Nicole.
We actually got a season in, and here we are, so excited for the tournament, but unfortunately, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that San Diego will not be taking part in the tournament. Now, because of San Diego not taking part, any seed that was lower just moves up. George, what is your forecast for the early rounds?
Well, I think the interesting matchup to watch is going to be what Pacific does. Pacific is a team that, is very talented. And I think if you asked anybody on that team, they're probably not happy with how they finished conference. They're probably a team that has the talent to be in the top four, but they're not. I think one of the games to watch is going to be when Pacific, if they advance, plays San Francisco on Saturday. That should be an entertaining game. I also think Santa Clara is going to be an entertaining team to watch on the other side of the bracket.
Well, I do like what George was saying, especially about Pacific, who's coming into the tournament having won 5 games. I think they have the complete package. And then I really like Portland. I think Portland is a team with Haley Andrews and Alex Fowler. Those two players, they are playing very well, playing their best basketball right now. So I think the matchup that we're going to see come maybe Saturday are going to be very interesting.
Kristen, is there a player that is just peaking at the right time right now?
Well, I think look at Kremuli from San Francisco. That's a player that has to be on your radar, and she has been at the top in the scoring in the WCC as a redshirt freshman. The girl flat out knows how to score. She's a natural scorer. She's leading the nation in three-point field goal makes with 81 on the season. So she is the hands down the best three-point shooter in the conference. Coming in, she's playing very confident.
And Kristen mentioned the 81 three-pointers. She did that in 23 games. She broke San Francisco's single-season three-point field goal made record in 21 games. The players who held the previous record played 30 and 31 games to get that record. So it just tells you how prolific she is.
Well, speaking of picking up where they left off and then some, Shaylee Gonzalez, Kristen, when you look at her, how dangerous is she going to be in this tournament? Because not only does she have the skill set, but the mindset now.
Well, and I think what really makes her hungry is coming back from an injury and having to sit out an entire year where you have to watch and you have to learn the game from the sideline, right? And that's exactly what she did. She became a student of the game, but she's been very hungry to get right back where she was as a freshman. That freshman year, 2 years ago, they came in and won the WCC, able to make it to the second round in the NCAA tournament. She wants to make it further this year, and she's made it known that that's her goal, to get past that this year.
Which team or which player do you think will be the biggest surprise this tournament? Kristen, let's start with you.
I think that you're going to see out of BYU, I think you're going to see a player like Harding or Tegan Graham really step up. Those are going to be key players for the Cougars in the semis, and then hopefully to make it into the championship, because the depth that BYU carries. They need that depth, and it's very important when you come to tournament time and you get into March. Depth carries a team as well as their defense into long season and that postseason security. BYU is a bubble team right now, according to Charlie Cream, that just came out yesterday, that they are the last 4 out. And because of that loss at San Francisco, that really hurt them. And now, in order to secure more of that postseason security, they've got to make it to the championship game and maybe win that game.
Well, I also think, Valerie Higgins is somebody we're going to hear from in this tournament. The Defensive Player of the Year in the conference. She's not done yet. She's also an all-time favorite player to watch. I think it's going to also come down to some of the 6 players off the bench. I mean, Kaylin Randaha at Pacific does a great job. She's a junior. She would start on a lot of other teams. J.C. Gorsman at Portland can play some big roles. You look at Gonzaga's depth. I've really taken a liking to Kaylee Trong, the Gonzaga point guard. She's a sophomore, and you look at her out on the floor, and you have to look down at your program and say, okay, she's not a senior. So these are the players, sometimes you didn't know who they were in November and December, and now you say to yourself, what would the team do without them?